Hanoka was a lonely, unattractive, and insignificant person who sacrificed countless lives and nations for the awakening of the witch deity Aura, even reversing time to resurrect his lost love. Despite his efforts, his classmates ignored him completely. One day, when he dropped his eraser, the most beautiful girl at school returned it to him. However, her fan club attacked him after class, beating him to the ground and threatening him never to look at their princess again. Even when he tried to help his teacher, one of the girls attempted to kill him but pretended to be helping when Ayaka arrived. As a result, Hanoka's miserable life continued with ongoing abuse from his peers. Then, one day, while throwing out the trash, he saw a mysterious rabbit ear in the garbage. When he picked it up, the note said the weather was clear with a chance of buildings falling. When he looked up, he saw the clock tower collapsing directly onto him. Never, in his entire life, had he managed to hold a girl's hand, but after the tower crushed him, he woke up in Ayaka's arms, seeing that they were flying above the tower's destruction. At the same time, the girl who had tried to kill him snapped her fingers to summon two rabbit knights. Ayaka threw Hanoka away, dodging the swords while enveloping them in flames. Just before Hana's miserable life ended, she cushioned his fall with her enormous breasts. Even so, the rabbits emerged from the flames, and she dodged both attacks, using her broom to push them away before unleashing hell to burn them. But when they jumped back, she launched a fire explosion to push them away again. However, the rabbits kept advancing, so Ayaka tried to activate her flaming landmines, but as they used their agility to keep coming, she teleported to burn one of them to ashes. At the same time, a cat girl tried to lure Hanoka to follow her, and as always, he chased after her into an alley. At this moment, Ayaka began to activate her S-rank fire spell, burning the rabbits to ashes, but realized Hanoka had disappeared. Before her eyes, an army of rabbits had trapped him, and their leader lowered his head to execute the worthless loser. None of this seemed real, so as Hanoka began to wonder if he was dreaming, all the rabbits were set on fire. After picking him up, Ayaka warned him to stay closer to her, but he thought she was beautiful even in his dreams, as she would never save him when he was awake. But she revealed that her mission was to protect her princess. Hanoka wondered if he heard her correctly, but before he could check if his document had been burned, he saw one of the robots running towards her. Trying to prove he was indeed a man with virile power, he moved to protect her. He needed some milk while Ayaka tried to ensure he was okay. Hanoka realized that size mattered after all, so Ayaka smothered him with her enormous breasts, apologizing for not having burned them to ashes yet. As the rabbits rose again, she began to awaken her inner demon, Blaze, commanding her millions of clovers to incinerate them. These devastating flames earned her the title of Fire Witch. Hey my dears, have you ever wanted to draw your own anime character, or even become a professional artist? Dude, check this out. Anime Art Academy brings together professional artists from Japan. You can actually learn from real mangakas. And you know the best part? You can start for free to get a taste of the journey. Check out the art from one of the professors. Hot, right? The link is in the description, okay? But when Hanoka woke from his coma elsewhere, Ayaka revealed that he was in her private room. While he wondered if he was dreaming, she told him he wasn't and revealed that she had been secretly protecting him all along. As they headed home, she promised to always be by his side from now on and walked next to him without saying another word for the rest of the day. The next morning, while the loser thought he was back to his worthless life, Ayaka approached him on the bus, asking to sit next to him. And as she stayed by his side, all the girls wished he would end his miserable life, and the look from all his classmates made him sick. When he tried to go to the bathroom, Ayaka's fan club kicked his worthless body, threatening to kill him if he continued to be by her side. However, Ayaka appeared at that moment, ordering them to let Hanoka go before adjusting her collar and saying she would burn anyone who hurt him again. But their anger didn't end at lunch, and when they began shouting for the princess to stay away from the ugly loser who smelled like an anime convention, Ayaka shoved her sausage in his mouth. However, he was tired of everyone planning his murder, so as he fled, he wondered when this miserable day would end. Then he saw the restored courtyard where the tower had fallen. At that moment, the cat girl appeared, saying that everything was an illusion magic. She had been testing him to ensure he was harmless, and after coming close to his face, she revealed her wings, introducing herself as Kuraishi. But before she could take him, Ayaka's flames burned her. However, Kuraishi summoned her robotic army, revealing she wouldn't lose this time, as her army was 10 times larger. All the knights began to advance, along with the lancers, so Ayaka laid Hanoka's body on the ground before everyone rushed to explode on top of her. Shortly after, Hanoka began to regain consciousness, seeing Ayaka's body completely torn apart, and screamed at her for sacrificing herself for him. Hearing his words, she wondered why he would be angry when he was safe. But Hanoka realized he hadn't been listening to her all this time, and that it was the reason she got hurt. Because of this, he realized he should believe in her no matter what happened. But as he began to shout for an ambulance, she told him she was made of fire, asking him to close his eyes if he really believed in her. As he did so, Ayaka's flames began to envelop his body, and while all the rabbits struggled to jump, a massive explosion pushed them away, with Ayaka appearing in her second form. None of the robots could withstand the heat, and as Ayaka commanded them to burn until nothing remained, Hirashi managed to escape. After she was gone, Hanoka opened his eyes again, realizing Ayaka was back in her normal uniform. As they walked back home, he apologized for not shoving his sausage deeper into her throat, but they continued walking in silence once more. The next day, the teacher announced that there would be 5 new transfer students in their class: Tempopo Kuraishi, Rin Kazari, Kanna Atsuji, Mei Manawa, and Kotetsu Katsura. Hanoka wondered how so many of them had appeared, and Ayaka told him they were exactly what he thought they were. The following day, as he started heading to school, he realized Ayaka was not on the bus with him and began to worry that she might have been attacked by them. However, when he arrived in the classroom, he saw that she had already captured the rival witches and was about to burn them alive, revealing that it was a witch hunt because she believed the best way to keep him safe was to eliminate their enemies. When Kuraishi began to speak, Hanoka asked Ayaka to remove her gag, hoping to understand why they were trying to capture him. Once the gag was removed, Kuraishi began to say she only wanted to be his friend, but even Hanoka's dull brain wasn't fooled by her lies. Trying to act brave, he decided to ask why they wanted to capture him, but Kuraishi regarded his question as worthless as his face. However, she chose to reveal that they actually wanted his body, especially the white liquid inside him. Hearing this, Hanoka began to panic because he was still a hopeless virgin who never thought he'd be defiled. At that moment, dark ink started dripping from the ceiling, and when Mei appeared above them, she immediately captured Hanoka. She was the last of the group, and as she conjured a wall in front of Ayaka, she freed the other girls and vanished into the floor. Feeling secure, Mei thought her plan had worked perfectly, having already paralyzed Hanoka with a spell. However, while she was still celebrating her success, flames began pouring from the ceiling, and she realized Ayaka had neutralized her poison after already burning the other witches. As Ayaka started to approach, Mei threatened to kill Hanoka with her witch wolf, but Ayaka did not back down, threatening to burn her to nothing. In desperation, Mei's wolf bit Hanoka's neck, but his body exploded in flames, rolling away. Mei then realized the bite mark had transferred to Ayaka's body, but it disappeared before she could be burned. Later that day, after Hanoka woke up, he noticed his wound had healed, but saw Ayaka wearing a scarf around her neck. It was to cover the wound, but she told him she was just trying to keep warm due to the weather. She explained that he would never be safe with witches lurking and suggested they would be better off eliminating the superior witches behind the attacks. Realizing she was putting herself in danger for him, Hanoka begged to become her apprentice and asked her to reveal the truth behind the attacks, but she thought it was too early to reveal the secret of the god inside him. The next day, when they met on the street to spend the weekend together, Hanoka noticed that her breasts were indeed enormous. As they walked through an alley, Ayaka decided to reveal that she worked for a guild to protect him from the witches of the tower, an evil coven whose sole desire was to create chaos in the world. Their only goal was to awaken the Demon King and turn the entire world into a disaster if they managed to obtain the white thing inside him. When they reached a store, Hanoka helped Ayaka carry her bags as a worthless servant, but when he noticed a girl crying, he tried to help her find her family. However, it was just another trap by a new witch who recognized him as the same person from her wanted poster. She pushed the girl aside, but when Ayaka arrived, she drew her blade and immediately took her down. At the same time, two other witches appeared, but when Hanoka told them that Ayaka was from the guild, they revealed their true forms. However, Ayaka was unfazed by their presence and unleashed a massive flame around them before throwing them against the ceiling. As Hanoka escaped with the help of the distraction, he saved the girl from being impaled. When Ayaka decided to protect them, the witch started shooting at her, but Ayaka shielded herself with her cloak. When she ran out of bullets, she tried to use her blade, but it was already overheated from Hanoka's flames. At that moment, she dropped all the bullets and exploded the useless girls in the most convenient position. Realizing they had no chance against Ayaka, the witch shot a rope to the roof and managed to escape with the remaining losers. As they began to leave, Ayaka told Hanoka that she had accepted to be his mistress, but said that the battle would not end until the witch leader was defeated. When they arrived at school, Ayaka revealed that her school was secretly a guild of witches, a hidden residence built for witches. Upon reaching the principal's office, she started wondering why they were so late. When she approached, she revealed that Ayaka was actually her daughter, telling Hanoka that she would teach him to become her new apprentice. But the only thing Hanoka learned was where Ayaka inherited her enormous attributes. A few days later, as Kuraishi and her team ambushed Hanoka on his way to school, Ayaka told him to watch from the side like a ugly, worthless dog. When the girls began to advance rapidly, Ayaka spun her broom, exploding them into the sky. But Hanoka wished she would just blow him up too. Later at school, Hanoka wondered why Ayaka didn't have love letters filling her locker, but when he opened his own locker, a pile of letters fell on him. Instead of being full of love, they were all death threats and voodoo dolls aimed at erasing his disgusting existence. Ayaka knew it must have been the work of her fan club members. When they reached the classroom, Ayaka handed him a stack of books to read, saying it was the beginning of his training, but as her face and body came close to him, he realized everyone wanted him dead. Later, on the tennis court, the instructor decided to pair Hanoka with Ayaka. While he was still afraid to be near her, Ayaka said it was all part of his training. When the game started, she kept hitting the ball to their opponents, but Hanoka missed every shot, and by the end of the game, he was exhausted. However, she lifted him up and pressed her massive cannons against him, showing him how to hold the racket. Upon returning home, Ayaka noticed a magical fish flying around the bus. When the next stop changed to Dead End, she tried to protect Hanoka, realizing an enemy was on the bus. At that moment, the sunlight revealed their bodies, and Ayaka realized the bus was moving on its own. Soon after, darkness began spreading through the windows, and a woman approached them. Her ocean magic expanded at the same time. She was Crenoir, a powerful tower, which known for her witchcraft powers. But when Ayaka tried to shield Hanoka, Crenoir froze her with a spell and attempted to explode her body, only to realize Ayaka was unharmed. Hanoka immediately decided to protect her, but Ayaka called him an idiot because, no matter what he did, her flaming body could not be damaged. At that moment, Crenoir stabbed him in the abdomen, but as he screamed in pain, he realized he had healed again. It made no sense to him, but as he began to question if it was an illusion, Ayaka passed out. Noticing her wound, he realized that his own injury had been transferred to her body. Crenoir revealed that Ayaka had already cast a damage transfer spell, which would continue to hurt her whenever he was attacked. Before he could react, another witch captured him, and Crenoir said Ayaka had already borrowed his power to become invincible, and they were connected by a strong bond. She said his best chance to save her was to share the rest of his magical power with her and revealed the black orb for him to swallow. She said it would release his power, but Hanoka knew it was a trap. When she tried to put the orb in his mouth, a green flame erupted as Ayaka managed to rescue him, but since she was still too weak, she passed out again. However, she told him it wasn't enough to stop her, and as green roots began to appear on her body, she told him to close his eyes and keep thinking about her. The dormant witch's power started to awaken, kicking Crenoir in the throat and revealing her flaming plant demon. But as the flames burned Crenoir, she promised to return for revenge at dusk. When Hanoka woke up, he discovered Ayaka was unconscious and managed to take her to the hospital. While there, he noticed Crenoir had placed the orb in his pocket but decided to hide it in his drawer. A few days later, as Hanoka continued his training, Ayaka told him to jump as high as he could. Then, as he ran towards her, he attempted to jump, but the cloak helped him fly high and lifted him to the ceiling. When he got scared and started falling, Ayaka managed to catch him, revealing that the cloak made them lighter than feathers. In an instant, she summoned her broom and told him to summon his own. However, the quantum physics teacher couldn't imagine holding a long stick, as the only stick he had ever held was his 2-inch persuasion. At that moment, students began entering the gym, but as Hanoka started to panic about being noticed, Ayaka told him that the cloak protected them from being seen by anyone. Soon after, they began searching for a new training location, but since Ayaka thought Hanoka was afraid of heights, she started running with him, determined to make him lose his fear. While flying on her broom, she circled the school and eventually took off towards the sky. She continued over the city and even flew between the towers before finally resting on a railing, watching the sunset. Hanoka found it beautiful, but his lazy rear ended up falling asleep. A few minutes later, upon waking on the flying broom, he noticed a group of girls intimidating his classmate. When he suggested rescuing her, Ayaka said her duty was to protect the city from evil witches. If he was too disturbed by the intimidation, she suggested he call the police, saying she couldn't risk putting him in danger. However, Hanoka decided to act as a hero and, by chance, summoned his broom at that moment. He jumped towards the ground, but his dumb brain soon realized he didn't actually know how to fly on the broom. Luckily, when Ayaka decided to release her power, he managed to control the broom, but the force of the wind devastated the area. As he flew through the city, barely avoiding traffic, he ended up colliding with the intimidators. However, he was still a weak loser who couldn't get up, so one of the intimidators sat on him, ready to make him pay for his actions. As they wondered if he was some kind of cheap Harry Potter and were about to kill him, Ayaka appeared behind them and unleashed her hell spell, burning them alive. When Hanoka asked why she killed innocent citizens, she said it was a trap to lure him in and revealed that they were tower witches. Meanwhile, Kuraishi and the rest of her team were wondering how they could finally defeat Ayaka, but when Rin suggested attacking Hanoka when he was alone, Crenoir appeared before them offering her support. The next day, while Hanoka was getting ready for school, his sister Kasumi tried to ask who his secret crush was. She already suspected he was seeing the school princess, but Hanoka was afraid to reveal his secret and called it a coincidence. As he started heading to school, Kasumi began stalking him like a crazy person, but as the bus was about to leave, he started running towards it only to trip over a rope. At that moment, Kuraishi appeared before him, flanked by 2 bunnies. At the same time, Ayaka had been cornered by the rest of the team, and Mei started saying they had discovered her power and had come to eliminate her once and for all. Then, she drew her whip, and they attacked simultaneously. On the other hand, Hanoka had been successfully immobilized, and Kuraishi began saying that Ayaka had also been captured the previous day. When Crenoir visited the girls, she had suggested separating Ayaka from Hanoka, revealing that was the only way to weaken Ayaka's magic. With their plans successful, Kuraishi commanded her bunny witches to take Hanoka away, but in the blink of an eye, they were annihilated, and when a giant appeared in the city, they realized it was actually a teddy bear. While Hanoka was still in shock, he noticed Kasumi was controlling the teddy bear and discovered she was also a witch. She had come to save her pathetic brother and ordered her teddy bear to throw the captured bunny far away. As Kuraishi grew angry, she decided to create her own giant bunny, eager to balance the fight. As she advanced, she bumped into the teddy bear, but it managed to steady itself, ready to retaliate. It charged at the bunny and slammed it to the ground with force. With the teddy bear ready to attack again, the bunny began begging for mercy, afraid of being beaten. As the bunny begged for mercy, the teddy bear lowered its guard, but the bunny seized the chance and poked its eyes, causing it to recoil. To capitalize on this advantage, the bunny rushed to attack, but as it evaded the attack, the teddy bear appeared in front of it and attempted a suplex. Luckily, the bunny managed to land safely, but when it kicked, the teddy bear started spinning it around, eventually throwing it against the power lines. However, when the bunny came back to attack, the teddy bear missed the kick and was poked in the neck. Before it could recover, the sick bunny spread a green mist in its face and, using the power lines as wrestling ropes, came back with a blow, but the teddy bear hit its useless face, sending it away until it finally fell. While Kasumi was boasting about her victory, a skeletal dinosaur knocked over her teddy bear from behind, but it managed to regain its balance. As the bunny reappeared to turn the fight into a 2-on-1 battle, the teddy bear began to expand, reaching up to the sky. While the bunny and the dinosaur attacked its foot like ants, Kasumi revealed that she would never fail in her duty to protect her weak and useless brother, then crushed both of them, causing an explosion in the city. Hey my dears, first of all, click the like button so you don't forget, okay? This helps me a lot, thank you.